Hi, Gray Shooter here. I'm doing a video today on my Tisas 1911s. I'm calling it the good, the bad, and the ugly. And let's go over the good points first. And I'm going to start with my Night Stalker 10mm. This is the SF version, as you can see. No rounds in the chamber. You can also see the ramped barrel. It has a fully ramped barrel. No ammunition in the gun. Now let's go over these SF features. One is this extended threaded barrel. It's threaded 5/8 by 24. It's optic ready and comes with suppressor height sights. That front sight is a night sight with an orange outline around it. It has a rounded skeletonized commander style hammer. It uses a regular bushing, plug, spring, and short guide rod, just like most 1911s do. Uses the standard slide release. The trigger fits very well in here. It's a very nice trigger. Feels good. It's got just enough play so it moves easily, but not a lot of up and down motion in or side to side. It has a checkered magazine release. Has some very nice, unusual serrations here on the front strap and on the mainspring housing. It has a magazine well, and the frame is also beveled, as you can tell. It uses the competition style wide ambi safeties. I like that a lot. And all in all, it's a very nice pistol. Has 4-slot Picatinny rail. As you can see, this is also beefed up very strongly. Has these aluminum machine grips. Wasn't sure if I was going to like them or not, but they actually feel really good in your hand. That's another good point about this gun I like. This is a bit of a hefty gun. The slide's beefed up a little bit, so it weighs in excess of 40 ounces. I want to say it's close to 44 ounces. And it's a very good shooting gun. It's got a very heavy recoil spring in it, but most 10mm do. Okay, let's move on over here to my 45. This is my Duty 45 model. It has, as you can see, it's empty. No ammunition in it. It has the standard 1911 style barrel. You can see the barrel moving back and forth in there. So the standard ramps on it. It came with 3-dot white sights. I blacked out the rear with a Sharpie, and I put some Dayglow orange paint in place of the white paint on the front side. They are Novak style, as Tisas calls them. I'm not sure if Novak sights will actually fit in here, but they refer to them as Novak style. Okay. Oh, and by the way, all these pistols are hammer forged. The frames, slides, and barrels are all hammer forged. The barrel's machined after it's been hardened. None of these pistols appear to have any MIM parts in them at all. They all appear to be machine parts. So that's another good point on all of these. Now, this pistol uses the standard, or should I say, tactical style or carry style safeties. It does have ambi safeties, but you see how narrow they are. I'll compare them to the 10mm. You can see what I'm talking about here. You can see the competition style on the 10mm is much wider. It too has the beaver tail grip safety with a bump, the lightened commander style hammer. The front grip is smooth, but you can see how they've made a really high relief cut in here that lets your hand get way up on that gun. Has just a regular serrated mainspring housing. The magazine well is beveled, but it does not have an added magazine well. And very nice gun all in all. Now let's move on to this pistol here. This is my stakeout model. Now, if you're not familiar with the stakeout model, they come with, and they make a couple other models like this. I can't remember what they call the ones. They make some with the brush chrome finish like this. They also make some that with a polish finish. They gave them a different name, but this one is called the stakeout. And it comes with 2 barrels. A 9mm barrel, which I have installed right now, and a 38 Super barrel. And if you're not familiar with 38 Super, it's like a extremely hot 9mm. It's a turn of the century cartridge, and was widely used back in the 20s and 30s. It kind of fell out of favor for a long time, but then became popular again when people started using it during IPSC matches. This gun, as you can see, is empty. It also has the fully ramped barrel. It uses the same barrel bushing, springs, guide rods, the whole thing. This is pretty much your standard 1911 style pistol that they've been making for 100 plus years. You got the arch mainspring housing. Now they did add a couple of little nice features to it. They put this extended beaver tail on it with a memory bump. It does have the rounded commander style hammer. The frame is beveled for magazine release, or for the magazine insertion. The magazine button or release button is checkered. Got a pretty decent fit on this trigger too. It's aluminum. None of these triggers are adjustable, but it does fit in there pretty well. The fit on all these guns is pretty tight too, every one of them. And like I say, they are Series 70. And one of the downsides to a Series 70 is even with a hammer down, if there's a round in the chamber and you drop it on the muzzle, it can go off because the firing pin inertia. Well, in this gun, as you can see, that firing pin has a green tint to it. It's because it's titanium. And all four of these pistols have a titanium firing pin in them with an heavy-duty firing pin spring. And that's to kind of help maybe stop the chances of it going off if you do drop it on the muzzle. But I wouldn't count on that too much. This has regular serrations. This is pretty much like a GI model. It is scalloped and relieved here, make it easier to get your finger on the trigger. The magazine port is lowered and flared slightly. But other than that, all in all, this is the way it came from the factory. Got these really nice walnut stocks on here. And as I said, it came with the 2 barrels and a magazine for each barrel. I've got the 9mm barrel in it currently. Oh, and going back to the 45, it came with 2 sets of grips. One set was plastic, one set was rubber. I didn't like either one. The rubber ones had a funny smell to them. I got these walnut grips from SDS and put them on. I think they look much better on here anyway. Okay, going on to the last in the series here. I've got my double stack 9. You can see it's 17 rounds plus 1. It also uses a ramp barrel. As you can see, it's empty. It's got the rounded skeletonized hammer, the carry style ambi safeties, regular bushing, guide rod, spring, the whole 9 yards. Now, it also came with the suppressor height sights, black serrated rear. It's optic ready. The front sight was just a white dot, and I put that Dayglow paint in there. It has a 3-slot Picatinny rail, unlike the 45 and the 10mm. They both had 4-slot Picatinny rails, but they're also 5-inch guns. This is the 4 1/4-inch commander style. These lower portion here, now like I say, the barrel, the frame, the slide, they're all hammer forged. This part here is all polymer. You can see the screws that are holding it on here and here on both sides. And you can actually, they make these grip modules in a couple of other colors, if I'm not mistaken. And you can also get aftermarket grip modules, I believe, that'll fit on here. Now, unlike all the others, this one has a smooth magazine release. Has a very nice undercut here for your grip hand. Your support hand has a little bit of undercut right here too. And it's a very nice, fairly lightweight for a 1911 sweet shooting gun. If I were inclined to carry a gun this large, this is probably the one I would carry. Because they all have, they're 1911s, so they all have decent triggers on them, you know. Nice short reset. So what's not to love, right? Now this trigger here is lightened, just like it was on the 45. And but none of them, as I said, are adjustable. Okay. Oh yeah, and before we go, we got some checkering, fine checkering in the front strap and on the mainspring housing of this gun as well. Now you have a magazine that tapers down to almost a single feed, and while this frame is beveled somewhat, I'm not sure if that's coming through on the camera or not. There you go. You can see the bevel. You know, it's pretty easy to stick something that's very thin into a hole that big. So anyway, let's move on to what I call the bad. Okay, moving on to the bad. I started by taking my 1911 45 apart and to demo this. Now, one complaint people have with a new Tisas pistol I've noticed is when they rack the slide, if they let the slide ease forward instead of letting it slingshot forward, it'll catch right here on the disconnector. Slide will come forward and it'll catch right there and stop. And if you let it slingshot home, well, it'll go into battery no problem. But if you ease it down, it'll catch right there. And the reason it's catching is these pistols came from the factory. I'm trying to get a good view for you. I can. It's not working so well. Here we go. Get a little closer to the camera. Right here where the breech face and this part of the metal right here, the slide come together. This corner right here was a very sharp 90-degree corner. And that's what was hitting on that disconnector and stopping the slide. So what I did on all of these pistols, and I mean all of them, including all 4 of them, I had to do this on. You can see how shiny that is right there. I took a file and some memory cloth, and I radiused that. It's less than 1/8 of an inch of radius on there. But I broke that corner over so when it came to the disconnector, it would just ride right up and over it and push it down. And that put a stop to that, okay? But like I say, I had to do that on all 4 of these for whatever reason, and I've noticed a lot of other manufacturers don't do this, but they have a sharp 90-degree corner right here, and that's what causes the issue. Okay. Another thing I had to do, and I had to do it on every one of these pistols except for the double stack. I had to remove the extractor and take tension off the extractor. You can see the extractor in there. Right there, that hook. Oops, that hook sticking out. That's the extractor. When a round is feeding in from the magazine, it slides up the breech face right here, and the rim has to go behind that hook. The rim has to go behind that hook. So that round comes out of the magazine, slips up the breech face, and like I say, it's the rim of the cartridge has got to go behind that hook. There we go. Has to go behind that hook right there. All right. From the factory, for whatever reason, they put entirely too much tension on these. And so that'll cause a lot of stoppages of the round not wanting to feed into the chamber. So you get a failure to feed. So what I had to do on these 3 pistols, the 10, the 45, and the 9mm 38 Super, I had to remove the extractor, take some of the tension out of it. And I may do a video later on kind of covering how you go about doing that, but it's hard to do stuff like that on YouTube nowadays. But I had to take that out. And also while I had the extractor out, see if you can see from the bottom here, I know you won't be able to see this because it was really small. I beveled the front edge and the side of that hook right there a little bit. I've got some needle files, and I put a little bevel on there to make it like a little funnel to help that rim go up in there. So that's the bad, having to break that radius on there and adjust the extractor. Okay, now let's move on to the ugly. Okay, moving on to the ugly. As I told you before, this gun has a brushed chrome finish. And I blame myself for part of the ugly. My hands perspire, I guess, like everyone else's does when I'm handling a gun, especially on a hot day. And years ago, I had a stainless gun that had a lot of hard chrome parts on it. And my perspiration was really tough on those hard chrome parts. And this gun being fully nickeled, I think it had the same effect on it. Now, when I did my first review of this gun, I pointed out some discoloration. You can see it there. There's a little bit of discoloration in the slide right here. Up here by the sight, you can see a little bit of brown discoloration there. And also in the slide serrations there, you can see some. Now, when I handled the gun, and I thought I wiped it down, I mean, I had hoppies and oil stuff on my hands. I thought it'd be fine. But I got it out of the safe a couple of months later, and this nickel here on the front strap was starting to discolor. It wasn't rust, but it was turning a brownish, bronze-looking color. Wasn't very attractive. Same way on the beaver tail from like right here down. You can still see it's a little discolored right there. The mainspring housing, right along this edge of the frame here, all the way up to right here, it was starting to discolor. Had a little bit right in here. And it was just from where I had gripped the pistol. So it reminded me anytime I handle this pistol, before I put it up, I need to make sure I give it a good wipe down with oil before I'm finished. And like I say, I blame that on myself more than the gun. But they make several models of their 1911s with this brushed nickel finish. They make a tank commander, some other things in different calibers too. So that's just something for you to bear in mind, okay? Now there's one other ugly aspect that I don't like, and that's on this Night Stalker. These rear serrations, they're not cut really deep. They're really wide apart, and with that extra heavy recoil spring in here, it is extremely hard to get a good grip on here. You don't have any front serrations at all. But usually to rack the slide, I'll pull the hammer back first. It makes it a little easier. But I just don't like these serrations. They should be deeper. I'd like for these, each one of these, to be wider. You need something to get a grip with your fingers on. Actually, I would prefer just the standard old GI style of serration to this. Now on the 45s, it's great. Same way on that double stack. They're identical. I'd be happy with that too, but that's something else that I'm not too happy with. So that and the finish on this gun, or the way this finish reacts to my handling of it, are the only ugly things I can say about these guns. Now let's do some final thoughts. Okay, my final thoughts on these guns. I think they're an excellent value for the money. I think any time you can buy one of these guns, especially if you can get a good deal on it, you know, they run sales on these pretty regularly if you keep your eye out. And you just, it's money well spent. Like I said, excellent value for your dollar. So I would heartily recommend any of these. I know they're not the finest 1911s on the planet. They're not a Ed Brown or a Wilson Combat or a Les Baer. They're a good working guy's gun. And I like them a lot. And I tell you, compared to like a Springfield Armory, I think they stack right alongside a Springfield Armory, shoulder to shoulder, no problem. You go on up to a Staccato or something, now that's a different story, different animal. The Bull Armory guns, they're all a little better fitted, a little better finish and fit on them. And but these guns, all these guns together didn't cost what one Staccato would cost. So that's my view on these guns. I hope you enjoyed it. If you will, reach down there, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, Leave a comment if you will. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And if you don't mind, share this video with your friends. So this is Gray Shooter. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching.